away a place in the upper bracket final, and confirmation that you'll be playing on Saturday if you win this series right here. It's Karmine Corp on the blue side, and Dacia looking for a hot start over to Astro. He does put it back onto the backboard, but Karmine Corp coming out of the gates hot here, Spooks.
And another confirmation, it is indeed Gek playing for FC Multiculti, but they are on the defensive end. Gek making the save right over there. Astro keeping the pressure going, and Nolly will keep it flowing all the way into the orange half. It just gets stuck there a tiny bit. First 30 seconds, they haven't been able to escape just yet, and this is looking lethal, but not dangerous enough, as Astral is something that is quite dangerous.
Justice not falling for that one, though. No boost in his wagon. You'll have to settle for the ball being stuck in the corner this time around. But for Multiculti, you've really got to stop the aggression from Karmine Corp from the outset, because they stay in your danger zone for long enough. It's just only going to be a matter of time until they batter down the hatches. So FC Multiculti better be ready for a shot from anywhere. There's one from Noli from the corner. Here's Astro from the other one. Justice has to make the save on Itachi, and he picks it out of the air perfectly.
There's Gek with the good pass.
Oh, good pass.
All the way out, and it's almost inside the net. Justice just barely missing out right there. But that was the first breakthrough from FC Multiculti, and now they're just back onto the defensive end once again. They have really struggled to get away. Good flip reset by Gek, but they're still stuck. But the important part, they've been able to survive so far on the defensive end. Nothing really getting past just yet, as Gek comes from the ceiling. Not a good touch, not the one you want to see. But Peaky will keep the game flowing, will keep it going towards the blue half. And finally, is this going to be the time where FC Multiculti, never mind, it just goes back to the orange half?
Well, the thing is, you mentioned about them surviving on the defensive side of the ball, FC Multiculti. You've got to do more than just survive here against Karmine Corp. You've got to turn that into offense somehow. And I think maybe only 1 or 2 shots have came out from FC Multiculti, whereas Karmine Corp have just been battering this net for 2.5 minutes. Astro a little bit wayward on that challenge, though. And now Itachi looks to try and make it still dangerous for Karmine Corp, but it is Gek taking it down. I'm not going to pronounce that wrong. You do it much better than me, Spooks. Is it Gek?
Gek.
You got to do it with a lot of phlegm.
It's got to come from the inside.
Gek.
It's getting there, but it's fine. But what is also getting closer and closer is the offense from Karmine Corp once again. They are really just inching closer towards the net. Good attempt by Astral. But I'm taking a good notice at Karmine Corp, and I hope you see this too, but I've not seen overcommitments. I just see a very solid play right now from them. Yes, they are not getting that goal, but they are locking down FC Multiculti most of the time. They're not able to get away from their own half. And I'm a firm believer that if you can get a team stuck in their own half for long enough, that mistake will appear, that crack will come, and eventually you will get your goal. Just need to make sure that you solidify yourself and keep that pressure up.
Well, I will say for Multiculti, they're certainly not making too many mistakes here. There are a couple of wayward touches, but it's not really for not really been in a position where Karmine Corp's been able to aggress on them. That was dangerous as it went across the face of the net, although Peaky now into the corner will try and follow up his own touch. No boost in the tank. We'll have to let the rest of his team come in. Now Justice follows this one up the wall towards the backboard, away from Noli, up to Astro. Itachi in the middle of the field here. 92 boosts for him. The pass doesn't come anywhere close, and it's right back into the hands of FC Multiculti. And Karmine Corp maybe slowing down just a little bit here. They were fast and aggressive to start this game off, but as FC Multiculti has been putting up a really good defense, Karmine Corp try to find another way around them.
And maybe that other way around them is waiting for a mistake to happen because of the rotations outside their own box. Force FC Multiculti to move out, get aggressive, and then eventually once someone is baited out, you can counter-attack that. But so far it hasn't worked out just yet, as we are in the last 40 seconds. Ball into the middle, but Peaky gets a good clear out to Justus. A double tap and slam, but it just goes wide. And that looks quite dangerous, but it can go quite quickly to the other way.
Noli right up that left wing, and he loses possession on the goal line once again for it on the FC Multiculti. Right back down. Gek! Oh, baby! Right from the middle of the field. And with 22 seconds left, it's Multiculti with the first.
All it takes is just that one counterattack, that one pass that you're looking for. And you see it right there. This ball goes smoothly on into the net. And now Karmine Corp has to act really quickly. Astro with a good kickoff right there, but it goes the other way. As Peaky follows it up, tries to bait out Itachi right away. Itachi with the 50s. Can he get one more? No, Justice is a bit too quick towards that ball. Nolly hitting it straight on down. You need to act quickly. Less than 10 seconds. It's Astro on the ball. Passes in the middle, but a bump coming out as well. And Astro's trying to do the same. Peaky hits it up into the air. And this ball will stay alive for now, but Itachi can't get to it. And to all of our surprises, FC Multiculti has done it on the counterattack.
Well, well, well. And, I mean, you pointed out before we started, Spooks, that Karmine Corp have, you know, been quite aggressive, quite an aggressive roster as of late, and obviously throughout the entirety of the RCS season. But, I mean, right here, you see Noli and Astro all the way back, and they just get completely blindsided by this, you got to say, really inventive passing play. You think that Peaky is going to go straight to net, maybe take it off the backboard, but no, he finds Heck right to his, or straight to his left, I should say. Don't say right to your left, that's just wrong. Straight to his left, and boom, bang, in the blink of an eye, SC Multiculti on top. So it wasn't really an overcommitment from Karmine Corp. They just got completely taken by surprise.
And it is something to take note of, but right now, all Karmine Corp has to do is just bounce back. It is just one game. We've seen it before, and Itachi, after 5 minutes of struggling, do get their goal.
That they do, and finally Multiculti make a defensive mistake. Peaky slow to take it off the backboard. I don't think he had much boost in the tank, so an awkward possession for him. Really should have called in a teammate to maybe just boom it downfield a little bit more, but if everyone was drained of boost, that might have been a little bit too difficult. Now, Karmine Corp, I've seen them before when they maybe lose one game, maybe lose 2 games, that they can dig themselves into a hole and maybe not get themselves out of it, mentally wise. So Karmine Corp, it was important for them to get this first one on the board, mostly for their mental fortitude, and maybe even get a second here as Itachi goes over the top. Noli to dunk it down, won't go through. Itachi is there maybe to follow up, but he smartly, in my opinion, gets away.
He does, and maybe we're gonna see a similar thing to yesterday's Vitality against Rumble Bumblers, where once that one goal goes in, you see the floodgates open on up as the first minute passes on by. Peaky getting 50th right there in the midfield, and Astro trying to do his best to regain control of this ball into his team. As Justice brings it out into the corner. Still the offensive side for FC Multiculti, who is still over on the blue side. Double commit coming out right there, leaving Nolly in a 1v1. Is he quick enough? But with the bump at them from Itachi, it just barely isn't working out. Just a bit more speed required.
A little bit more speed, a little bit more accuracy on the bumps there, Itachi. You know he's capable of them, so FC Multiculti really need to be keeping a close eye on Itachi coming through on plays like that. And luckily enough for them, he was off target that time. Here comes Peaky from the right-hand side. Has Heck up onto the backboard. Now Justice comes in. And it just seems a little bit haphazard right now for FC Multiculti. They're just taking pot shots, not necessarily on target, but at least in the direction of the Karmine Corp net. But still nothing being able to show for their efforts right now. Itachi in the corner, maybe able to follow up his own touch in the side of the field. Again, FC Multiculti, after that early mistake, Spooks, they seem to have settled down in defense.
They have, but it also feels like Karmine Corp has settled themselves down as well. They are not really trying to force the envelope a tiny bit too much.
Yeah, you say that.
I mean, that isn't really forcing the envelope, though. That is just him going for a solo play that he is good at, and that's what I've hinted at before with this team. As Peaky gets an attempt on target, that they are very much capable of doing those solo individual plays. And in that regard, this team so far, Karmine Corp, very much reminds me of the current Vitality with Verdosen.
Yeah, it does seem like that. There's just no follow-up right now from Karmine Corp, and maybe they'll pay the price for an empty net, but Noli and Astro was there. Noli will get credit for the save. 2 men get back. Noli able to take that one away from Heck before it becomes a little bit more of a threat. Does feel like Karmine Corp are maybe just settling for their 1-0 leads, settling for this 1-0 game, as they can't really seem to break forward, because now it's Multiculti chasing points, trying to press the issue in the blue half of the field. Now Justice picks it round, beats out Noli on that one, but it's straight up to the backboard for Astro. And FC Multiculti trying to find a way through, but the Karmine Corp defense, we've not really talked about it all that much throughout this game, Spooks, but they are starting to cause issues for Multiculti coming downfield.
Definitely, but I think that we haven't spoken about them just as much. It's probably for the better for Karmine Corp, because there's been nothing really special going on. They've just been solidified. They keep on blocking every attempt that FC Multiculti is trying to throw at them. This is a good attempt right there, but just a bit too high. Miss from Dacia as well. Pass over to Justice, but the miss of the ball. But I was quite sure that ball would have been saved anyway. But Justice does keep the pressure going. There's an attempt once again from Gek, but he can't do it alone. This ball is slowly inching closer towards the net, but no one really finding the answer just yet.
Multiculti inching ever closer, as you say, Spooks. Justice maybe tries to get even a little bit more closer. Noli off the backboard. Oh, he'll leave this one for Astral. Actually bumps away Peaky. That was probably a really smart play, because Peaky was in a decent enough position to make an attack on that ball and maybe get a pot shot onto net. And maybe catch Karmine Corp off guard once again. Noli for the second, and he buries it bottom right corner.
That is the ball inside once again. Karmine Corp, they've just been quite patiently waiting for their moments to strike. And eventually they do get that moment. Get an easy goal on in, 2-0 up in this game. And with the way things have been going, I don't see FC Multiculti getting back into this one. They have to be careful though. Maybe you don't want to concede that third just for the mental strength that you can gain from it. As Justice tries to get it past, Astral does do well in that regard. This ball is on open, but Noli from the inside of the ceiling of his own goal gets the save. And with the last couple of seconds just taking away, I think this is the Karmine Corp I would probably be happy to see coming out.
Yeah, and that is the Karmine Corp that I imagine they've got a huge fan base to K-Corp, and they'll be happy to see them back on form with that game. But I do agree with you, Spooks. I do think that Karmine Corp, they're holding something back, I feel. They're not playing to their fullest potential, but hey, they won that game 2-0, so who am I to say that they held anything back? But it does feel that this roster just has that little bit more to give. But I suppose if you're playing really fundamental Rocket League and it's working, why would you change that?
I mean, that's the thing though, but there's nothing going wrong right now. But I feel like against Semper, if you win this these next couple of matchups, against Semper, you can bring out this same style. Yes, it is solidified, it is good, it's a tiny bit bland on some moments. Against Semper, they're not going to allow you that, because they're just going to have that same solid defense and eventually break down yours. So they need to figure out some type of stuff, because relying on solidified play and then a couple of solo plays is not the way to go, I feel like.
Certainly not. But for Multiculti as well, losing that one in the fashion that they did, I mean, right now, you would say they're, I would say, relatively evenly matched with Karmine Corp. Yes, it's obvious because they're one game apiece. That's very even. But I mean, it's easy to say that, but just looking at the style of play that both these teams are putting on, it does feel like they're matching up against each other really well. Multiculti and Karmine Corp both going up for solid 50s. They're winning challenges. It's just the final third, really, for both teams that has been an issue.
It has been, but maybe a good opportunity early on for Karmine Corp once again, but they aren't getting it this time around. Have to be careful for that counter-attack. We've seen it work before for FC Multiculti as Astral brings it out correctly towards the orange half once again. Looking for that 50, but good baiting out by Justice. Knowing that 50 wouldn't favor him at all. Nolly hitting it back into the orange half, but it seems that Gek didn't want that ball to stay in the orange half, and we're back. It seems to be a bit of what I like to call ping pong. I haven't used that phrase in quite a long while, but it really is starting to feel like that.
I remember the early days of Rocket League Esports, 2015, 2016. Mainly game ones, they would just batter it back and forth, ping pong between the ends. Right now, it does seem like that. It's like, no, you have the ball. No, you have the ball. No, I insist you have the ball. Multiculti. Try to push down a little bit more, get over the other side of the net, of the ping pong table. Now Itachi trying to clear his own lines. It does seem very, you know, one person goes, one person stays, one in, one out. Not just for K-Corp, but for Multiculti as well. Both these teams playing a, I don't want to say it's boring, but it's uneventful at the very least.
It is uneventful so far, but you know, those chances can be taken quite quickly, and then you all of a sudden are very hyped because then out of nowhere a chance is created, an opportunity is taken, a shot is made, a goal appears, but so far it isn't looking like any of these two teams really want that goal. It seems that they just don't want to concede so far. As Justice back onto the backside once again, Nolly pass towards Itachi, and Gek with the read of the century. Just too bad he can't find a goal, but almost does it.
Oh my
goodness. Both denying him, almost going from the most insane read to almost an insane goal.
That was an epic double play there from Kek. Shame he doesn't get the correct angle on it. Justice, trying to sneak it past the defensive K-Corp and thread that needle, but still not to be. Now FC Multiculti, they've held back for nearly over 3 minutes of this game. I feel they're twitching in their chairs, thinking, oh, I want to have a shot at this. I think we're close. I think we can take apart K-Corp here. Here comes Kek again. Itachi able to block that one out. K-Corp, you feel that now they're being pressured a lot more by Multiculti. You see them all pushed upfield. Noli does take himself back, but it might be Astral to get the upper hand here in game number 3. Not to be, as Kek gets another save on the board.
Itachi with the control, quick shot coming out, but Justice still there with the
Justice.
position though. Astral almost getting it, and the second attempt going wide as well. Just not going in just yet for Karmine Corp, as Itachi taking it high, taking it under his control, trying to bring it all the way towards the goal once again, but still blocked off. There seems to be always a third man lying in wait, knowing what to do, knowing when to block. And as Itachi tries to go once more towards the offensive side, Justice blocks it off once again. And there's no second man there. There's never someone really to follow it up, as a demo does happen in the midfield. But still, I'm waiting for a follow-up. Someone needs to be there for Karmine Corp.
It's just really conservative right now. They're playing like they're, you know, 3-4-0 up, or K-Corp. Really, both sides are playing like they've got a substantial lead. But right now, it's 0-0, and I suppose even at this stage, you're quite tentative, thinking, oh, I don't want to make a mistake. I really don't want to, you know, give these guys an opportunity in my own half. But I suppose sometimes you just got to put your neck out there and take risks. And FC Multiculti, maybe in the last 10 seconds here, they'll take a risk. Into the corner it goes. Astral, infield passes it to Itachi. He might have just given it out to Piki. Off to the top corner it goes. Justice with the follow-up, but still Astral is able to get his body in the way. And after a flurry of offense from Multiculti right at the end of regulation, we find ourselves in overtime.
I almost thought that would have gone in, and it should have probably gone in, but it still hasn't found the back of the net. And with the way this game has been going, Crafters, I would not be surprised to see quite a long overtime, wouldn't you?
Oh, this goes like a 10-minute 0-0 overtime.
More,
oh,
20.
Boy. Oh no, I don't.
We're going to live Danny Boy's
yes,
dream.
I'd like to cast a long overtime like that. I don't think it's going to happen that way because both these teams are going to be itching to score. Here comes Kek. Loses the rest of his boost tank. Here comes Nolly. Flip reset, and he's got it. It's not a long overtime, Spooks. It's only 38 seconds, and K-Corp on to match point.
Nolly just does it so beautifully, so effortlessly almost. And speaking on the defense, yes, maybe you should respect that he could go for those flip resets. But then again, you have to respect that that man can probably go for anything he would want.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see there the stats. I mean, the shot's relatively even. I mean, K-Corp just edging it. And everything, apart from the goals, obviously, everything kind of balanced itself out. Both teams had their licks on both sides of the field. And it was never really one team taking full control. It was just that, you know, solo play right at the end from Noli. And we'll watch it again. Lovely air dribble with a flip reset to boot. Yeah, there was just nothing to pick between either team there for me, Spooks.
Nothing really. It really just came down to one breakout solo play, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And with that, I mean, to me, Karmine Corp, that's what they're good at. That's eventually what they will always do. If they can't take the goal with the way they probably would want to at the start, they will just take it towards overtime. Take it as long as they need to until they eventually get that solo goal that they're so good at. But maybe a passing play early on is the way to go.
And there's the one. I mean, it took them 5 minutes and 38 seconds to score in the last game. It only takes them 10 here, and it's Nolly again. Nice infield pass by Astral as well. And Multiculti, they felt the pressure at the start of game 2 as well when K-Corp scored within the first minute. Could be a second here as Astral is hungry for it. Off onto the backboard, can't get a drop down as the defense from Multiculti swarms on top of it. And again, K-Corp starting to show signs of aggression like we saw from them before. And maybe starting to do something with that aggression as well. Although this time PK goes towards net. Nice block away by Astral to get it high and away. And now Justice leaves that one. Hitachi follows this one up. The big booming long clear. I'm surprised that these big booming long clears haven't led to anything, although it does this time as Heck flicks it into the top corner.
As a wise man has once said, if you can't get past the defense, just delete it. That wise man was myself, and I seem to be very much true.
I mean, you were 100% correct on predictions yesterday, Spooks.
I know.
No reason why he couldn't be 100% correct today as well. Although we were saying before we came on air, you've used up all of your prediction stats corrections already. So no more correct predictions from you. Although I'm pretty sure you're at least you're 1 for 1 so far. I mean, I'd make that 2 for 2 as well there. Actually,
make that 2 for 2.
Oh, almost. Not quite.
Still need to get that before.
Yeah, we did. No, I was talking about the demo thing. That's what I was talking about.
Fair.
Yeah, okay. All right. Astral now. Into the middle of the field. Here comes the defense from Multiculti. Just want to see them move forward a little bit more. They have been pressured a lot, have Multiculti. Astral towards the backboard and just not letting Multiculti run free here. Into the corner it goes, and again, no follow-up. And it's just giving K-Corp a lot of space to work with, and when you give K-Corp space, they can be really dangerous.
They really can be, but I mean, so far it's been blocked off really well by FC Multiculti. They just lets them go all the way up forward and then eventually get that save last second, but they can't keep doing that all too long without maybe getting an insurance goal just to make it all a bit safer. As Hitachi brings this ball back into the corner once again. Justice misses out right there. Astral into the middle. This is a passing play, but it doesn't work out as Peaky saw it coming. And once again, that last second save that we've seen so many times beforehand already for FC Multiculti.
It's the defensive reads as well for Multiculti that is doing it for me. They just seem to know where K-Corp is going to go at any given moment as they slow it down. Oh, no, he knows exactly where this one's going to go. Oh, he thought it was in the back of the net. But unfortunately for him, Multiculti had the whole brigade running back to block it. And again, it's just the reads from Multiculti stymieing K-Corp at every twist and turn that this series has taken so far. There's only 2 minutes left in the clock. You feel that Multiculti, I would imagine they want to score in regulation. Oh, they might have had to if Noli was able to flip and twist his way in through that one. Hitachi takes out PK in the corner. It might allow Astral and the rest of K-Corp to move in on that one. But again, just nothing quick from K-Corp so far, letting Multiculti reset.
Heck, once again, with a good 50 right there, leaving it up for Justice to bring it forward once again. Nolly, awkward position right there, but the bumps from Hitachi. He has been going for them quite a lot right now. Maybe notice that he needs to be careful.
Oh, good
and
read.
Especially careful with Justice making use of the bounce.
Oh, he reads that to perfection, knows that it's going to come straight back down, and knows he can just pop it in that top corner. Excellent positioning, excellent accuracy from the Dutchman. And he's given FC Multiculti a chance here. A minute and a half to go. A game they need to win to stay in the upper bracket of Pool B here today as Noli comes forward. Oh, and he had a man in tow as well. Itachi couldn't finish it off. Here comes Astral from the corner. Oh, Itachi tries to sneak it in the bottom right corner. And now K-Corp playing with a little bit of pace behind them, a little bit of worry perhaps, maybe a little bit of desperation as they want to close this series out in 4 games. But they're going to have to score again, and it's going to have to be in the next 60 seconds.
And I think it was you who said before in the green room that you could see this going to that game 5. Well, it seems you have your prediction glasses on today as well, as you are quite correct right now. But Astral trying to get that second goal for his team, isn't able to do it alone this time around. And I feel like that's been a bit of a problem for Karmine Corp. Their offense has been very one-dimensional. Very much just, okay, bring the ball up, either backboard or you go for a solo play. That's it. Nothing else. No really originality coming out for a passing play.
Let's see what they have, what tricks K-Corp have up their sleeve in the last 20 seconds. Justice just wants to clear this one away. Wants to give K-Corp the longest yard to go. Noli gets it round 1. Can't get it past the second as Justice once again knows exactly where he's going to go with that. Justice has been great with the reads in 50-50 situations, and he has the ball in his possession. All he needs to do is touch it down, and he will, and we will indeed go to a 5th and deciding game.
And what a way to do it for FC Multiculti. Their defense has been stellar. And when they do get onto the offense, they're quite dangerous as well. But I will keep hitting onto it. It is those counter attacks from them. That's the ones you need to be the most careful for. And of course, if someone gets a double demo, it is hard to defend.
Yeah, really hard to defend. And again, you see there in the replays, the first goal for Multiculti, the difference maker was those demos. And I imagine they're going to employ them again. I mean, we saw yesterday the bumps and demos from the Rumble Bumblers made a slight difference in their run. Managed to get them to the lower final against Vitality. Didn't end up winning it. We will see them tomorrow, however. But you've got to really be careful for that if you're K-Corp, because as solidly as you've been playing in your normal rotations and keeping everything clean and fun down to the fundamentals, sometimes you just got to break out of your shell. And I would proffer to say Multiculti doing a hell of a lot more of that. Here comes Yet, can't get it past the 4th man of the post of the blue goal. And the quick start that FC Multiculti wanted will go amiss, at least for the first 20 seconds.
And normally we've seen Karmine Corp being the ones to open them quite quickly, but game 5 so far in the hands of FC Multiculti. But they do need to be careful. He can't go push up too early on, as Itachi does receive a good pass, but the interception from Gek, annoying enough to just block it off for now. But the offense from FC Multiculti keeps on growing, keeps on pushing. Justice in a good position, but the save from Itachi saw it coming. But if my eyes don't deceive me, Itachi has already gotten 3 saves, is now demoed once again. This shot is just a bit wide, and the follow-up is there. Pinky getting his goal.
That he does, and let's see, yeah, the booming from Heck there gives Noli and Astral a heck of a lot to deal with. And PK and Justice, lovely transition passing play around that corner. And able to strike first here in this crucial game 5. Remember, the stakes for this are, if you win, you will face off against Semper, but also if you win, you're guaranteeing your you're guaranteeing yourself a place in the playoffs come tomorrow. And you don't have to face off against Must You Flock in that lower game a little bit later today for elimination. Both these teams want to guarantee themselves a place in the playoffs. FC Multiculti taking that first step, minute and a half gone. K-Corp again trying to transition upfield, but the defense from Multiculti is just so great in their rotations, and Karmine Corp just don't have an answer right now, and the transition back downfield is even better.
They have figured them out, knowing what to do, and with a bit of a fake coming out right there, Gek probably has the easiest shot of his career, probably up to date, but 2-0 FC Multiculti. They're in a position that is golden. Game 5 looking good, and it hasn't been easy for Karmine Corp to really get goals going into their favor. Gek trying to center it once again. Astral won't allow him this time around, but Justice there once again passing to the middle. 2 people up for 1 shot. Astral has to help out as well. And now Itachi just a tiny bit quicker. Can Noli help the 50 of his dreams?
And this all came from PK trying to go up for it. He doesn't realize he's got minimal boost in the tank. And I think he communicated that he had the ball. Keck gets himself into a really awkward position to try and make that save, but it's not worth it in the end. The ball does go through. Karmine Corp pull within one. Still plenty of time left on this clock for either side to get a foothold in this one. PK trying to play it off the kickoff in the corner. Justice a pass, rather a shot in the middle. I thought he would have gone for the infield pass rather than going directly for net. Maybe a mistake on his part. But nonetheless, again, another wayward pass for K-Corp. PK back downfield towards net. Oh, no one was there for K-Corp. Where was the defense, Spooks?
Bumps, bumps, bumps. Look at this. Look at Justice. Follow him closely with your eyes. Chasing after Astral, not allowing him to get back. And we've spoken about this before yesterday, to be specific. If you can get a couple of these bumps in, a couple of these demos in, you're going to see a huge effect. And here we see it once again. Nolly bringing it back into the middle. It's a good pass towards Itachi, but Justice blocking it off. And we've got past the halfway point. And Astro needs to be careful here. You can't take those across your own goal that easily, and especially not now with zero boost. Itachi trying to get it further ahead. Astro off the pass into the middle. There are two people there. Nolly finds the net and makes it a 2-3 situation.
Oh, and they're keeping the pressure on FC Multiculti. Again, it's a quick transition downfield for K-Corp, and both these teams have really struggled when it's come to making sure that they get their defenses set on a quick transition back into their own half. But for K-Corp, they want to employ that a little bit more, just sucker Multiculti in. They'll be desperate to get another cushion goal, but that won't be any comfort to them as Itachi makes it a level scoreline.
Itachi really just doing what has been done to him. That corner above the goal. It is so hard to predict exactly what's going on, exactly where it's going to go. And Itachi this time around does find the goal. 3-3. We're back tied up. Karmine really isn't done just yet. And we still have 2 minutes left.
Ooh.
After a couple of quiet games before this one, all of a sudden we are in this situation.
Oh, hold on to your hats, folks, as that one was trickling close to the Multiculti net. K-Corp again, looking to transition quickly upfield. They know they can catch out Multiculti if they just go upfield really damn quickly. It's Multiculti, if they were able to get their defense set, they've been second to none so far today in their defensive rotations, in my opinion. Itachi now to take that one off the sidewall. Out to Astro. Empty net to shoot on, but Heck was coming across the face of the net. Now Itachi in the corner. Who's he got to pass to? Not really anybody. Noli comes flying in, diving at the ball, but not able to make a clean contact on it whatsoever. Just leaves K-Corp a bit in the dust here. Noli will fly up for this one. Maybe a double off the backboard. He'll leave it for no one in particular as Multiculti just clear that on downfield.
Astral does find the control once again, bring it into the middle. Itachi is up quite quickly, but maybe a bit too soon, giving it away too easily, as Heck has no problem with that at all. It is now Heck once again under control, has zero boost though, so it's going to be a tough task for himself. Justice on the backboard. Itachi bringing it back down into the middle, and PK, not the best hit, not what you like to see. And from the looks of it, FC Multiculti is struggling a tiny bit to find their footing once again, as it is Karmine Corp who just keeps on pushing and really is trying to finish it off before an overtime.
20 seconds to go before said overtime, and K-Corp ever so closer to getting a fourth. Transition downfield. It's only Noli back here. Astro does take out someone on the back line. It floats high in the blue box, and now Itachi will just lay it down, although he's given it straight to Heck, who's been an outstanding player for Multiculti this series. And Game 5 finds themselves in overtime. Golden goal. Next scorer wins. Goes to Saturday and will go and face Semper. Who's it going to be?
Who is it gonna be? That's what we're going to be figuring out right over on here. Itachi bringing it back into the middle. This is in the hands of Nolly. Finds the control, finds it past one. Can he find it past another? No, Justice does find that control. Astro once again trying to do it all solo, but can't do it this time around. Itachi is up. You would expect him to drop it down for someone else, but Justice maybe saw it coming, maybe predicted it a tiny bit, isn't allowing it. And so we see the first 30 seconds just slowly creep on by as Nolly tries to creep on by the defenders.
And the pressure applied early from from Karmine Corp onto Multiculti, although now Heck able to break free. Only able to just tip that one. Force Multiculti to play from the midfield lane. Justice over the top. It was delayed there by Itachi, and now the backboard play once again. Multiculti going for the backboard quite often. Itachi looking for the top left corner instead of the backboard. And maybe Astro fly in for the fourth and final goal of their game 5 here. Not to be. Time ticks up still in overtime. And still no closer to finding a winner here, Spooks, because this is so back and forth and so even.
And it's once again to that point. This might go in almost.
Boy.
Heck just barely getting the save. Astro tries to follow it up. But Heck once again under control, bringing it back down from Itachi onto Peaky. But the demo will open up a lot of space. Now Nolly, dangerous man. He has been dangerous before. Flip percent on target. But Heck once again denying it in the overtime. And so far, what it feels like is just two teams who do not want to lose instead of just wanting to win.
It's been feeling like that for me, Spooks, the entire 5 games. Neither team wants to make a mistake. Neither team wants to throw away this shot, especially Multiculti, who could be taking down a big name in Karmine Corp. Here comes Astro. 40 boosting the tank. Now nothing. Has to hand it off to Itachi, who takes it back into the corner. Multiculti under a lot of pressure here from K-Corp, but they've dealt with it well all series long. Now they need to deal with it in the highest pressure situation that you can possibly have. A game 5 overtime, and PK, there's a weak shot from Itachi, but he had to hold his nerve there. Now transition back downfield and maybe get a couple of demos in. Justice does take out Astro, but again, no follow-up from either side.
And as we are in that game 5 overtime, I'm going to bring you back to game 1, where we saw Karmine Corp with a big part of the offense, but couldn't find the goal. And eventually we saw FC Multiculti finding that goal in the last 30 seconds. Are we going to see a similar thing going on right here, where we see Karmine Corp being a bit of the stronger team, the one who's more on to the offensive end, and eventually we see FC Multiculti breaking out, getting that goal, but it has yet to be proven. It's Nolly now finding that control, bringing it back into the middle. Heck tries to block it off, does get a touch onto it. Itachi in an awkward position, can turn around once again. Peaky Visurobu still forcing the envelope quite well. Astral has an opportunity with the flip reset, but it's not on target, and Heck was ready for it anyway.
You gotta remember the one overtime that we've had so far this series. Spooks was one. It was won quite early by a spectacular solo play from Noli. Wonder how this one's going to end. Is it going to come down to teamwork or individual prowess? 3 minutes and 40 seconds in. Here comes Justice, looking for individual prowess of his own, and everyone in the defense with Karmine Corp just completely whiffing on that one. May have trickled in, and luckily enough for them, there was that one man left back. Here comes Heck now. Noli with another save, adds to his tally. Justice able to send it away to PK in the corner, and it's back and forth. Really tentative stuff from either side. You'd say K-Corp had the advantage here, and now Noli one-on-one tries to bump away Justice. Astral was there for the follow-up, but again, Justice just stands his ground.
I would almost say if only he would have gotten that, if only he could have gotten the bump, but the pass right here is on target. But Heck is not ready to lose just yet, wanting to keep his team alive, passing to the middle, but that might be a pass towards Itachi, back to Astral, but a bit of an awkward situation. Nolly now, not the best of touches, and Heck will clear the ball out once again. Really has been a star player so far for SC Multiculti, but can he do it once more onto the offensive end? It is Justice right there, dropping it down, and Nolly hitting it forward once again. Peeking into the middle, there is Heck to receive it. Can he find the shot? Maybe. He does find it on target. It's a bit too high in the second chance. Goes wide. Justice ready to find it, and we see the upset that no one expected.
What a play by Heck to dribble that into the top corner. Yes, it ricochets out, but you draw the entirety of K-Corp to try and punch that ball away. Justice, he's been great in his positioning all game long, all series long, and he positions himself perfectly for the follow-up there. SC Multiculti with a huge upset over Karmine Corp. They'll move on to face Semper. K-Corp move to the lower bracket.
Over 100 touches by Gek.
Oh
There's a
boy.
reason I called him a bit of the star man of them this game, this series, but proving it once again, the goal ending up in the net, and I almost feel sorry right now for Mustufluk because you have to face Karmine Corp.
Yeah, it's a huge upheaval for Mustufluk down in the lower bracket. They would have thought, just looking at the draw, that they'd be against Multiculti, but not the case. They battle through. They're going to face Semper. Oh my goodness! But I mean, you got to think of the broader picture here, Spooks, as well. Let's just talk about Multiculti moving on to face against Semper, which will be the game we'll see right after this short break. But you've got to think that the style that Multiculti were playing just there, they're going to get torn apart by Semper. Do you think?
I think it would have been that case no matter who would have went through. With both these teams playing a quite a similar style, I think it's just going to be so hard for whichever one would have gone through, but in this case then Multiculti, to win against Samper, because Samper, they just looked not only solid, but also a genuine team, where I just missed that a bit from Karmine Corp, who is going down to the lower side. And as I say that, maybe look a bit at the bracket, see what has been going on so far, because what we just saw, the 3-2 win from FC Multiculti over Karmine Corp, means they play Semper, who has won 3-0 over Mustufluk a bit before this, and they are down there. Karmine Corp, Mustufluk. What a way to be greeted towards the lower end of this bracket.
Yeah, we'll see that game a little bit later on. But for us right now here in Group B, we'll take a short break. After the break, when you come back, it will be Semper Esports versus FC Multiculti. Winner will be seed 1 out of Group B for tomorrow. Who's it going to be? Join us and find out.
Welcome back to Dacia Spring Electric Tournament Relic. Well, we had a sweep. Craftman and Spooks had themselves an incredibly close series, and the winner of that one... Really? Multiculti? I don't think anyone has really expected that.
It was... I mean, first of all, let's credit... What is... Can you hear that in the background?
It's a disco.
It's a disco. We can hear a disco. Our lovely... By the way, shout out to our lovely producer, Cheesecake. Just... You know what, Cheesecake? I'm going to mute you. I'm sorry. This is like the ultimate do not as a caster. But I need to sort out my thoughts because there are a lot of thoughts that I have, Jam. New look Karmine Corp. Bringing in Noli for stake. I would say a very aggressive change. And it's a change that has ultimately it's not worked. At least on the earlier evidence, it's not worked. Itachi, for me, was just absent throughout 90% of that entire series. Astral only really got involved when it felt like he had to take the world onto his shoulders. I mean, we've said that about him so many times across both his times at Dignitas and at Karmine Corp in its various previous forms as well. The fact that Noli was looking like the best player for them, I think says volumes. I know that we were talking in the green room about Noli looking like the best player on Guild, which is true, but we're also talking about a player coming onto a new roster and immediately looking like the best player, and that when he should be elevating the team, not exactly great. But yes, let's also put our praise onto Multiculti, who we're going to be seeing going up against Semper. Like, I love Craftman to bits. I don't think he could be any more wrong in suggesting that Semper's just going to wipe the floor with Multiculti, because Semper was so like, oh, do something, please. Like, it was so average that, like, sometimes I struggle to find superlatives and I struggle to find ways to really praise players because I run through all of the positive appraisal in the dictionary. With Semper in that last series, I couldn't find enough words to describe them because they weren't doing anything of note. Now, is that going to work against Multiculti? Maybe. I think Multiculti were definitely preying on Karmine being a little too over-aggressive, a little bit too eager at times. It's going to be an interesting series, though. I doubt we'll see another sweep.
Sweep, doubtful. I'd say this might go the distance again. And it would be incredibly wild if neither of the Group A and Group B will have the number 1 seed go in from a org. Because in Group number A, as a reminder, Mike Botho and Oli have taken that spot, knocking down Team Vitality. Team Vitality managed to grab the 2nd seed out of that group. But over here, FC Multiculti have the chance to repeat what Sa did yesterday. Yeah. And with the way that they've been playing and with the way that, I'm not sure, is it the lack of pressure? Is it just they came out here and decided, let's just have a lot of fun with it? And on the way there also get results, because clearly they've just gotten a very important one over Karmine Corp. And just like we mentioned previously, everyone who makes it to this stage is already guaranteed to have a spot in the playoffs. It's just a matter of where we're going to end up seeding-wise.
So, look, Justice, however you want to say it, is the known quantity. And I think that the general agreement on him is that he's a very solid player. He almost came off with an incredible double tap, I seem to remember. But it was very much flashes of brilliance from Justice, no matter what squad it was on. His 2 teammates, very well known in the RL Benelux scene, in the RL NL scene. Obviously, they're in a similar sort of boat, I think, as we would have put, like, Raziers from yesterday. And in tournaments like this is a great opportunity to show that they can bring more to the table. Now, let's just not forget that they are playing with a sub today, and I can use all of my Welsh to be able to pronounce his name, hopefully. Hek was fantastic. Unbelievable in both defense and offense. We had this big conversation about Archie earlier, showing Archie-esque qualities, I feel, perhaps not with that final finishing touch to score goals, but being in the right place to make defensive plays, being an absolute nuisance in midfield. And if you can make yourself a nuisance up against a Semper team which are looking uninspired, again, I don't see any reason why this underdog of an outfit can't take this series to the distance yet again.
Well, it's another best of 5, as all of the series are going to be today. We're going to be stepping into the best of 7 territory during the weekend. But this is for the top seeding in the group. And we're going to be looking out for either of these two teams to make it. Great shots for Semper Esports to open up the game so far. And really, it has been mostly, this match has been spent in the green side of the field. Justice off to Peaky. Peaky gets it going. And it still continues. The presumed underdogs, Relic, are scoring first, winning games first. That's the same thing that they did versus Karmine in the previous series. And now Semper Esports fall to 1 counterattack.
The communication between this squad, Jam, is on point today. The amount of times where we've seen successful shadow strikes from Multiculti because they've just been on the same wavelength as Chaussette forced into another big save there. It really does go to show that if you risk it at the right time, you're going to get yourself some luck. You're going to make yourself some fortune. And Chaussette, after a big save down the other side of the pitch, feeds off this challenge from Justice and Casio that ends up neutral. Keck a little bit misplaced there on his way back to net. Difficult to read how the ball trajectory is going to unfold from that position. And Semper able to get back on level peggings.
And a little bit of change of cars from Chaussette, previously in a Semper decaled Octane, and now in a very bright Fennec. Definitely trying to get something just to flash in front of FC Multiculti's eyes and just wreak chaos as he usually does. But now it's Heck trying to start something of his own. Goes for a solo effort. He had the right ideas, but by the time he already landed, I think Chaussette had all the right ideas to stop the bright ideas of his opposition. And so nothing comes out of that one. More gathering on the flanks, and this still almost somehow finds Chaussette, but look at that, another opening. If this drops in the waiting hands of Peaky, it might be trouble for Semper Esports. They managed to get back in tight themselves, and now looking for a clear.
Player's not going to get far, though. Heck looking for options in field. Up steps Peaky. Up steps Chaussette with the save. Possession given away into the midfield. There's Heck again, as he seems to be everywhere right now and across the previous series against Karmine Corp, if you're just joining us. Yes, Karmine Corp in the lower bracket. Stay tuned to see if they end up going home on day 1 of Group B. Well, Multiculti, I sort of was looking at this unfolding thinking, surely this isn't going to turn into much. Unfortunate there, and brilliance from Chaussette. I know that we were picking up on Exotic having a really good personal series. Maybe not brilliant, but solid enough. I think Chaussette has been the standout player for Semper. Yes, he delivers a 6, 7 out of 10 every time, but it looks like we're starting to elevate that to an 8 or 9, as a 3rd is the number going up onto the score sheet for Semper. There's that man Exotic.
And Chaussette sets it up so perfectly, goes for a bump as well. Backwards, trying to get onto the defender, try to discombobulate him in any way possible, and so he does. He might not be scoring the goal himself, but the follow-up is true and right on target. That 1-goal lead, unfortunately, doesn't stand for anything, and as more passing plays are coming through, did they almost pull up a 1-2-3? They almost did. Almost doesn't even score him half a goal. Unfortunately, maybe this is going to come in. And as more pressure is rolling in, they need more players with boost. Chaussette is out, but there's Exotic, there's Casio. More attempts are coming in on through, and FC Multiculti, the last thing they want is getting stuck in their own half again.
Now, this is a lot more. That's my point. This is a lot more from Semper Esports.
That's the whole point?
It's just more goals, more passing plays, more individual brilliance, and maybe it just takes that little bit of inspiration from Chaussette to be able to spark this roster into life. I peek a question in chat. Y'all think Exotic can fill Archie's shoes? No. What I do think is that he can offer Semper a chance to readjust their playing style to something which will, in the long term, benefit them. Chaussette off the backboard. I think him being allowed to push up a lot more is going to benefit him. I know he often gets assigned to the anchor role. He does have some really good offensive chops, but so does Heck. Completely dismantling the final defender. Don't count Multiculti out of this just yet.
No, by no means. Patience from Heck is imperative for him to set up his teammate peeking in front of the net. And Semper Esports, they're still in the lead. They still have the shooting opportunities. They still have a lot of firepower. Now I don't need to hold on to it, Justus. Does he still have the dribbling chops? We saw his attempt at the very least. And he was looking up to par, but that's a lot of Semper Esports players that he needed to beat on one way to that one.
Exotic going for safety, the better part of Valor, across his own net. And that's straight back into Peaky's path.
Nope.
Savior medal for Chazette, and a deserved one of that, using the woodwork to bail out what was an unnecessary defensive mishap as Exotic comes in on Justice. Peaky towards net, and that's going straight back into the blue
Super
half.
clear.
Lion's share of a minute for Multiculti to find a third, or alternatively for Semper to hold on to this third, / find a fourth to put the game to bed. Very similar story in terms of at least how close the games were, and that was a great opening for Semper. Massive save from Gek. And will they be able to transition? No, they're going to stay conservative, looking for boost. Lovely pass back in for Semper Esports, and Exotic not with the finishing application.
More and more passes are coming through, and I wonder how quickly Multiculti is gonna just read those passes even more. That was, by the way, a beautiful redirect here and there. Justice with the right idea, but still defenders in the way. Net not wide enough for him to get it on target. We saw in the previous series between Semper Esports and Mustaflock that at some point Mustaflock started reading everything that Semper Esports were trying to do passing-wise. I wonder if for FC Multiculti it's going to take them 1 game, 2 games to read those passes as well. For now, though, this is looking like a done deal. We'll be dropping to the ground. Whether it would have been a 4th for Semper or a 3-2 wouldn't matter. They're still taking the game number 1. And Chasset was right there, are a forefront of the attack. So you could see 15 shots in total for Semper, and you could see there through the game plan and possession as well. They were in the driver's seat, but there were 2 goals that Multiculti put against them.
One of which was most certainly just a Semper mishap. Chazette, standout. I could see chat throwing praise unto him, and he has certainly stepped up in a big way this challenge. The audacious doink, that is beautiful. There was nothing that Justice could do about that. Just far too powerful a shot in the end. Exotic as well, stepping up very nicely indeed. Again, Chazette right in the center of it, and so look, I don't think it was necessarily a dismantling of Multiculti, and I think that Multiculti was certainly trying to go punch to punch with Semper, but Semper just had a fantastic first opening couple of minutes, which allowed them to almost install a new set of confidence that, hey, this roster might not necessarily be what we wanted. Of course, we wanted Archie, not that that's Exotic's point of view. Of course, Exotic's very happy to be here, but the roster can work, and the adaptations to the playstyle can provide plenty of opportunities to score across the entire roster. You don't have to be focused on one person. Exotic fancying the solo play! And look at this! We talked about the audacious doink from Chauset earlier. Bob's your uncle. Cassio keeps Justice rooted. And that's another opening lead for Semper.
Sometimes you don't even need the bump or a demo, you need the threat of it to absolutely nullify the last defender, and that's exactly what Cassio did on his move on Justice. By the time the ball was floating into the net, he was just in no man's land to make any kind of touch on it, and in the end that just rolls in for... Now in game number 2, it's Semper opening up the scoring. FC Multiculti, not sure if playing from behind is necessarily their forte. They definitely are going to try out an attempt at a team pinch is coming on through. Oh, that's not a team pinch. That's Justus in front of net again, but this time he makes the reach. He makes the clear. Not far away enough, though.
So for those of you interested, again, I'm trying to keep chat informed. They're Exotic, probably most well known for his time at Solary back in the Rival Series alongside Kerrion and Melishisu. Really exciting roster that unfortunately just didn't survive into the new era of RLCS, and from there on out it very much went downhill. And Exotic, much like the other members really of that old Solary roster, trying to conjure up something of a renaissance period, and I think he can do that really at Semper. This is probably the best roster that he has had in terms of just talent around him, as Justice managing to get around the defense, and Heck doing a full 180, noticing the opportunity that was available to them. Multiculti tie.
Oh, if it wasn't for that touch in the middle of his low-flying aerial for Justice, this would have been a goal. He wouldn't have been able to get the ball under his control, but in just a couple of daft touches, he gets it under his control, flicks it over one standing defender, and Heck, yeah, just handbrake Immediate J-turn. Yep, I'm coming for this one. Cassius says, just wait 1 more second. We're gonna score a goal. That's exactly what he does.
Nice Stabbeth at V, just a really nice backboard pass. And I think Peaky was almost expecting that initial shot towards net to go into the back of the net, which is why he stayed rooted. And ultimately, Semper Esports, after a very unnerving, potentially equalizer for Multiculti, able to bite back instantly. Shozet meeting up to Peaky, and Peaky able to win 2 challenges in a row. Here's Justice again. Is this lining up nicely? Yes, for a Semper player. Peaky forced onto his own backboard. And I hate to say that I'm wrong when I was ready to put Crafters in the bin with his opinions about how Semper was going to completely dismantle Multiculti, but that was a Semper Esports earlier that was just looking so devoid of anything exciting really going forward. It looked so back to basics that I was really worried for them, whoever they were going up against in this winners final. They have really turned the tables. It's almost like they've turned on a light switch, Jam, and we can see this roster clicking a lot more comfortably. We can see the passing plays coming out. I mean, look at that brilliant infield pass. Again, good read from Peaky to deny what would have almost certainly been a third.
I mean, I'm afraid, man, it's already on tape, and Craftman is currently looking out of his trash can where you put him.
I'm owning up to it, Crafters. I love you.
Full on